Roman, give me your views about or what you know about what's taking place in Russia now in terms of propaganda related to the use of nuclear weapons.
So if you were to tune in into Russian news, which most of the Western allies cannot do that, because right now, if you go on vesti.com or .ru, you're not going to be able to get there. But through messengers and channels with the connection with a lot of Russians that we still have, and their family ties as well, we constantly get updates on this. And so right now, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, that pretty much the main message that was aired on the Russian TV, on Vesti, on RTR, other channels was basically, how can we use nuclear weapons to protect our troops in Ukraine? This was the prime TV station saying, how can we use nuclear weapons to protect our air stations? Then you have other guys like Zhirinovsky and others who went even further and said we should have a preemptive nuclear strike against America. We should bomb New York City, Washington, D.C. first, then San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago. Then we should also definitely take out London and other European cities. This is aired on the prime TV, like CNN and Fox of Russia TV.
And this is state TV, right?
Yeah, I mean, all of the TV is state. They had two independent channels that basically stopped existing last week.
So,
Russia controls all the TV.
So the guy you're talking about, Zhirinovsky, is Vladimir Zhirinovsky, and he is the guy that had that little party the night that Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump, saying this is something that they had been working on for 70 years and they finally had achieved it. He's been a big blowhard, and he has been very, very vocal about a lot of things. Are people taking him seriously on this?
Well, you have to understand there is a saying that Ukrainians and Russians have: whatever is on Zhirinovsky's mouth is what in Putin's head. So basically, Putin is not going to say some of these extreme things, and he can use his puppet like Zhirinovsky, who would be voicing, a lot of things. I mean, I don't know how much of that correlation is true, obviously, but I know what he's saying, what Zhirinovsky is saying on the national TV. And anybody, if we were to air this in the United States, this rhetoric, I think a lot of people's eyes would be just open and they would say, oh my goodness, this is really crazy.
So how would that impact the decision-making calculus here in the US and in other Western countries?
I think the calculus would be, we need to act very decisively. We need to have the air defense systems ready 24/7 to shut down any possible missiles. And we need to support Ukraine as much as we can for them to win this war. I mean, the escalation on the side of Russia has already went basically to the critical level. Because right now, the conversations that I hear on CNN, on Fox News, on all of the both right and left is very simple. It's like, let's not provoke Russia, right? And that's why we don't want to give them weapons. I mean, come on, American Stingers and Javelins are already killing Russian troops, tanks, helicopters. We already have provoked them. If you don't want to provoke them, don't do anything. And the same thing goes, with other equipment and weapons. I probably would agree that it would be really dangerous to put boots on the ground. And at least at this stage, if it's still possible to inflict heavy damage on Russian military without having boots on the grounds, and we don't need to do that. We can send a heavy, think about, we're decommissioning right now A-10 aircrafts, basically, the whole fleet. And Ukrainians know how to fly them because of the joint, exercises they have been conducting. Hey, just give them access to this equipment, give them access to some of the anti-aircraft systems. There is a lot of more than 3,000 volunteers from the United States that have voiced that they want to join Ukrainian military. These are not the regular soldiers. These are not the NATO soldiers. They're just volunteers. I'm sure a couple of them know how to use the American equipment.
Let me ask you this one more question because of what you just said about the nuclear calculus in Putin's head and that being on Zhirinovsky's lips. Um, are people in Putin's own circle going to sit for this? Is it up to them or somebody there to deal with Putin?
You know, this is a good question. And this is the question that I don't have the answer, but this is extremely important question because even when Putin orders, or let's say were to do something completely unthinkable, the question is that there would be people who would not want to commit these crimes against humanity, right? So there's clearly other people around him. And the question is, obviously, we're not going to have an answer to this because only people who are in inner circles of Putin would know the answer to this question. My thinking is, you're right. My thinking, there will be people, generals, officers in the immediate circle that would say enough is enough. We need to take him down. There will be some sort of coup inside, or some sort of, bombing, or that would happen in order
A
to take him
Valkyrie
down.
moment.
Exactly, the Valkyrie moment. Exactly right. So I do believe that there are people like that. I mean, I know a lot of Russians as well who are wonderful people, a lot of wonderful Russians. Unfortunately, it's not the majority, but I do know that they are there, and a lot of them have changed their views on Putin that were supporting him before, and now they're saying this is just insanity. This is just insanity.
Well, Roman, thank you again. I appreciate this insight. This is very eye-opening and very sobering, but the truth needs to be told. So thank you for
Sure.
telling it.
Yeah. Thank you, JJ.